Hi boys and girls. Today we're going to start learning cursive handwriting. Usually when you're doing your regular printing, we call that manuscript handwriting. But now we're going to move into cursive. This is what your cursive book looks like. You should have that at home. And we're going to skip ahead to a bunch of pages. The beginning of your book has some manuscript practice that you can do. You're used to writing that way. So you can work on those pages before this page. But for now, I'd like you to turn to pages 30 and 31. Anytime you're watching a video lesson, you can pause the video so that you can locate the correct page so that you're right there with me, learning along with me. So go ahead and pause it if you need to. Now, when you have a left-handed writer on page 30, you're going to slant your paper this way. So let's say I'm here, face this way. I'd slant my paper like this because then I would handwrite like that. My hand would be turned a little bit. If I'm a right-handed writer, I would be, on page 31, I'd be turned this way. And so I would slant my arm a little bit and write this way, okay? So kind of figure out your position of where your hand should be when you're writing. And if you look, the boys and girls on these pages have very good posture. They're not slumped in their seat. They're sitting straight up. Their feet are on the ground. So they have good posture when they're doing their handwriting. That's going to help you have good printing, okay? So when you've practiced slanting your book, this way for a lefty, this way for someone who writes with their right hand, you're then going to go to page 32, where you're going to see your first type of handwriting stroke, which is the undercurve. We're also going to be learning down curve, over curve, and slant. And these are all of the lines that you will see as you're writing your letters. So on page 32, we have the undercurve. And so if you just want to air write with me, I always say pull down your imaginary board, choose your color of your imaginary marker. We're going to get the rhythm of the undercurve first before we write on our board or our paper. Okay, so we're going to start at our baseline. That's the green line right here. We're going to come up to the midline, which is in the middle, and then we'll swing back down. So this is your headline. Okay, so we're just focusing on the middle line, or the baseline and the midline for our undercurve. And it simply looks like this. We start here and we curve up. Okay, just like this line here. So we start here, curve up. Okay, so I'll show you with my marker now. So we start here and curve up. We start at the baseline and curve up. So eventually we'll get into writing letters, and the letter I starts at the baseline and has an undercurve. And also the letter U has a couple of undercurves. Okay, so this handwriting stroke will come in handy when writing those letters along with other letters. So what you would do in your book now, you want to get used to writing on paper. So if you take a look at your undercurve page, you'll see they have a girl swinging to help you get the idea of the undercurve, okay? So you want to trace these top lines to start, okay, when you start your handwriting. And then on the next section, for these next 4 pages, you're going to take a highlighter or a yellow crayon. You're going to highlight all of the lines that are showing the undercurve. So for example, if I see the letter H, I would take my yellow marker, or your yellow crayon, I'll use blue here, and I would just highlight the undercurve that I see. So I see an undercurve there, and I see an undercurve there, just so that you can identify where the undercurve handwriting stroke is in those letters. So you're going to do that throughout all of those letters in that middle section. You're then going to do the same thing for the uppercase. So you'll notice they gave a sample, the letter B. So you're going to find all of the undercurve lines. So B, and we come down, loop around, and so for B, you then would highlight that undercurve here that you see. Okay, so you want to do that for those 2 sections. And then this is where you get to practice at the very bottom. Okay, when you practice, you're going to see a dot in the beginning of your lines. And so you'll go all the way across and then you will draw your handwriting undercurves. Notice this second line below has just one dot and then it's completely blank. You want to practice on that line also by yourself. So whenever you see a line at the top here, you should be writing one at the bottom, and same with the bottom too. Now you'll notice a difference at the bottom here. This line goes all the way to the headline or the top line. So let's practice one of those. That's where you'll start here and you'll come all the way up to the top, okay? Just like in our H. So when you get down to the bottom, you'll notice that you'll have to write those, you'll trace them to practice, and whenever you see a line at the top, you'll practice your very own on the bottom, okay? So that's your undercurve handwriting stroke. So now we're going to go on to the down curve. So if you would like, you can pause the video and practice your undercurve, and then when you're ready, play the video again and we'll start the down curve. So for the down curve, if you take a look on page 33, you'll see we start now at the midline, the middle line, and we curve down. The symbol that the book used was like a diver, curving down. If you notice, the arrows on the page will show you the direction of your down curve. So we start at our midline, and we curve down. Start at our midline, and we curve down. Some letters that we'll be using the down curve for, the letter A, we down curve. And then we have an undercurve there, the one we just learned. Okay, the letter D, we'll down curve, come up to the headline. Okay, so practice that. You want to find the down curves in these letters, just like you did the undercurve. You'll highlight the down curve. So for D, I would take my yellow crayon or yellow marker and I would highlight this section going down, okay, because it's down curve. And you'll do that for your capital letter, or your lowercase letters and your capital letters. So you'll notice the letter C, capital C, is one of those letters. And so you'll take your highlighter and you'll highlight this section going down, your down curve, okay? Then when you get down to the bottom, you're going to practice your down curve, the lowercase down curve, and then the uppercase. Remember, wherever you see a line at the top, you should have a line, then your own line that you wrote at the bottom, okay? You'll go all the way across until you're finished. Now, sometimes what I like to do is make sure that I'm following what the book looks like. So sometimes I'll circle my favorite ones, the ones that I thought matched the most closely to the two at the top. Okay, so that is the down curve handwriting stroke. And this will be the end of this video. My next video, we're going to show the overcurve and the slant. So go ahead and practice page 32, page 33, your undercurve and your down curve, and I will see you on the next video for our next two handwriting strokes. Then we'll get a chance to start some letters. Bye, sharks.